So guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are well. So Manny Pacquiao has kind of caused a stir, especially to the Errol Spence fans. A lot of the Errol Spence fans aren't happy. Manny Pacquiao says that Errol Spence is kind of slow. He's slower than Keith Thurman, and he's very confident he gets the win. Manny Pacquiao is obviously giving his assessment on what he thinks about Errol Spence, that he feels he's not that fast. He feels he's slower than Thurman. Thurman's more explosive for me. I think Thurman's more explosive. He's very fast in terms of fast twitch muscles. I think Errol Spence is more methodical. He breaks you down. You know, Errol Spence is a lot tougher. He's got better chin. He's got better punch resistance. He can take better punch. Also, Errol Spence is very good at judging distance. He's not got the fastest feet. So I can see where Manny's coming from. And Manny, he feasts on fighters that are slower feet and, you know, uses fast hands. But Errol Spence is a lot better than the guys that, you know, Manny's probably talking about, like Margarito. Errol Spence he's a much better fighter than Margarito. Manny talking like that is good in a way. He's confident. Manny's also talked about him fighting McGregor. If Manny's talking like that and saying that he feels Errol Spence is slower than Thurman, to me, it suggests he feels he can beat Spence. For me, there's no excuse then, if Manny's thinking like that, for him not to fight Errol Spence. I'm all up for him fighting McGregor. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, oh, he's ducking Spence and by fighting McGregor. I think the McGregor fight's fair. I think the McGregor fight's fair because Manny's been out the ring, and by the time he gets back in the ring, it might be 2 years. I think he needs a tune-up fight. Also, we get to see what Manny has got left. Now, people may say, well, McGregor's not really a test. It's not. However, it's kind of like a tune-up, right? It's a tune-up to see how Manny looks, to get him ready for a fight with. And it's a big payday, which Manny Pacquiao's gonna. It's a big payday for Manny as well. You know, with McGregor, it's a huge payday. So I think it makes a lot of sense for him to fight McGregor, just because it's a huge payday, it's a tune-up fight, and then I wouldn't mind seeing him at the end of the year or maybe start of next year fight Errol Spence. Now, he's got to fight Errol Spence sometime soon because Manny's not getting any younger. He's getting older by the day. So the more days that go by, and if Manny does have the ambition of fighting Errol Spence, it's going to favor Spence. It's going to favor Spence. I will say this. He may be right in terms of Errol Spence being slower, but I think it's a way tougher fight. I think Errol Spence is very dangerous for Manny Pacquiao because Errol Spence breaks you down methodically, and Errol Spence is very strong. And he also may not even be a bigger puncher than Thurman. And what I mean by that, one punch knockout power. Maybe Thurman has more. But Errol Spence breaks you down. He punches hard, but he's kind of like chipping away. It's like you chipping away at a tree. You keep chipping away, keep chipping away. He tires you, exhausts you, and he's a big welterweight. He's big and strong, and he's also got a very good chin. Something that I think Thurman is suspect. His chin is suspect. His punch resistance is very suspect. Errol Spence's punch resistance isn't suspect. Errol Spence is very strong, very fit, hasn't got stamina issues, punches respectfully, he punches hard, right? And especially at Manny's age, to be getting hit like that off a guy that's going to be constantly on you. I think Thurman is not constantly on you. Do you know what I mean? I think Errol Spence is a guy that pressures you, tires you. That's a bad, that's going to be, at this age for Manny, that's going to be difficult, right? Especially if Manny's power doesn't affect Errol Spence. If Errol Spence doesn't respect Manny Pacquiao's power, then it's a problem for Manny. It's a big, big problem. If Manny can get Errol Spence respect and hurt Errol Spence, then Manny Pacquiao's got a good chance. But if Errol Spence doesn't respect Manny Pacquiao's power, then all Errol Spence is going to do is walk Manny down and start landing body shots, head shots. He's going to be on him constantly, not letting him breathe. And that would be a problem. That would be a problem at this age. Now, younger Manny, firstly, for me, would be a problem for anyone because Manny's power, his speed was on another level. I don't know whether Manny's got that speed and power. And the most important thing is, and things that diminishes as you get older, is your leg and your foot speed. His legs aren't going to be the same. His foot speed isn't going to be the same, and that's a problem. When you lose your foot speed, that's definitely going to be an issue for Manny Pacquiao, because he can't move around the ring. And let's not forget, he's old. So him moving around the ring is going to tire him. Is he got the stamina? Because one thing I saw in the Thurman fight, and this was 1.5 years ago, by the way, he was flagging towards the end. Like, you could see, although Manny got through it, you could see that Manny was definitely breathing heavy. And in Manny's prime years, I never ever saw Manny even break sweat. Like, he never ever was breathing heavy in a fight. But in this fight against Thurman, I clearly saw. That's why when people said that, oh Manny, he's on something, you know, look at, how can you be performing like that at that age? It clearly was a diminishing Manny Pacquiao. It clearly was, because Manny Pacquiao towards the back end of that fight was clearly flagging and he was tired. And for me, against Errol Spence, you're not going to be able to get away with that. I'm just being totally honest. I feel that Manny Pacquiao is capable, depending on what Manny turns up. But if Manny Pacquiao tires the way he did against Thurman, I don't feel he gets away with it against Spence. So, like I said, it all comes down to, in my opinion, this is my opinion, if Manny's able to hurt Spence, I think he's got a good chance. If he's not able to hurt Spence, and Spence doesn't respect Manny's power, just walks him down, then Manny Pacquiao's got a big problem, because then he's got this huge bull that's coming at him for 12 rounds and is going to be landing huge body shots. And Errol Spence punches hard. I'm not saying he punches hard where he's going to knock Manny out with one punch, but he's got respectful power, just like Thurman. But he's going to be on you 24/7, and he's also a lot more sturdier in terms of chin than Thurman. So I think it's a hard fight. I do. I think it's a very, very hard fight for Manny Pacquiao. And that's why, if Manny Pacquiao pulls it off, I think you can make a case for him being the greatest ever. You know, some people may say you can make a case for Manny being the greatest ever now, and I hear that. But I think his case would be even stronger than if he beat Spence. Because then you'd say he just beat a formidable champion in his prime. A young, formidable champion in his prime. That would be crazy. Really, that would be ridiculous if he was to do that. If he was to beat Errol Spence, I'm sorry, that would be ridiculous. Like, I always favored him against Thurman. I always felt he could beat Thurman. And I even predicted Manny that he'd beat Thurman. I don't know whether I'd predict Manny beating Spence. I think he can win, but I don't think... I would favor Spence in the fight, if I'm totally honest with you. And I've just got to be honest. Even though I'm a massive Manny fan, I would favor Spence in the fight. But Manny Pacquiao, I wouldn't be shocked totally if Manny wins the fight. But I would have to favor Spence, just because of the things that I mentioned. I think Spence has got a stronger chin. I feel Manny's diminishing in terms of stamina as well. Saw stamina, towards the back end of the fight, flagging a little bit against Thurman. And I just think Errol Spence will take huge advantage of that. But again, I don't write Manny Pacquiao off, because Manny Pacquiao's proved throughout his career that you can't write somebody like that off. But I just don't think you can overlook Spence and what Spence has done, how easily he beat Garcia. Yes, the Porter fight was tough, but the fact that he beat Danny Garcia quite comfortably was quite... I didn't expect him to come back from the accident and beat Garcia as comfortably as he did. I thought it was a very, very good performance by Spence. Coming off such a bad accident, to come out and beat him the way he did was definitely a great performance. I have to say, it was outstanding performance. Outstanding performance by Errol Spence. I didn't expect him to do what he did to Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is a very, very credible guy. And even if you look at the losses he's had against Thurman and Porter, they were very close. They were split decisions. They could have gone either way. This was a fight where I thought he was completely outclassed against a formidable Spence. I really was impressed, because I was expecting Danny Garcia to ask a lot more questions than he did of Errol Spence. And unfortunately, he just couldn't. Spence just completely neutralized him, beat him easy. Like I said, beat him easier than Garcia's ever been beaten. Just completely neutralized him. Completely neutralized him and made it look easy. And like I said, no one makes it look easy against Danny Swift Garcia. So, brilliant performance by Spence. And Spence is a problem for anybody. And he's definitely a problem for Manny Pacquiao at this age. A prime version of Manny beats Spence quite comfortably, in my opinion. Some people may disagree. Some people may say Spence beats Manny in his prime. I can't. I'm sorry. He doesn't beat the Manny Pacquiao that beat Ricky Hatton, that beat Miguel Cotto, that beat Margarito. He doesn't beat that Manny Pacquiao. You know, I don't see. I don't even know if Mayweather beats that Pacquiao. Spence doesn't beat that Manny Pacquiao. No way. But yeah, I think now you'd have to make Spence a favorite in that fight. Manny's getting older, and we don't know when that fight is going to happen. If Manny's talking about fighting McGregor, that McGregor fight's going to happen, then what is it going to happen next year? Manny's going to be even older. He's got political responsibilities. There's a lot of things that on Manny Pacquiao's plate right now. So I think that would be an incredible achievement if he beats Spence. If he beats Spence, that would be a stupid. That'd be stupid. That would be on another level. I think you'd have to say that's probably one of the most impressive wins ever by any fighter at that age. Even though Manny's an all-time great, still it'd have to be one of the greatest wins ever by any champion, because of the how formidable Spence is, the fact that he's in his prime, and the fact the age at which Manny's at right now. I just think it would be one of the greatest wins ever. And a lot of people would be writing Manny Pacquiao off in that fight. I think 85 to 90% of boxing fans would be favoring Spence to beat him. I think even a lot of Filipinos will probably be favoring Spence to win that fight. I've had many Filipinos that said that they don't want him to fight Spence because they don't think he wins that. There would be. I just think that. Listen, I think if Manny can pull that off, that'd be some achievement. But I do think he should fight McGregor first. Fight McGregor, make that money, secure the bag. Have a tune-up fight, and then jump into a fight with Spence. I think it makes sense. Especially if Manny's talking like that. I think he feels he can beat him. So let's see what happens. Let's see whether Manny takes the fight. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.